Good morning, my Patreon family. Get your coffee. Sunday afternoon, we're preparing for a snowstorm. It's probably nothing like the snowstorms that you get, Eric, but it's been about 2-3 weeks since we've had any snow. Other than 2 days ago, we got 6 inches of snow, and they're calling for a pretty good snowstorm tonight into tomorrow. So today's a great day to come out, sit in the snowmobile garage, talk to you guys, and tell you about my week. What a week we have had. Oh, I had a great time last week. I've managed to get the boys out ice fishing quite a few times this winter, and they have just been hammering the big bass. I mean, 18, 20, 22-inch bass, 5-pounders, 6-pounders, 4-pounders. So they have just been nailing the big bass, which is made for some really nice fish fillets. So what do we do? Last Friday, we caught a bunch of fresh fish on Tuesday. So on Wednesday, I got those all trimmed up, all dressed out, all cleaned up, and ready for a cookout. And then on Friday, I loaded everything into the pickup that I would need for a tailgate fish fry, fish nuggets. Lincoln, he's 6 years old, and he loves his fish nuggets that we go catch. And there's nothing better than when they're fresh, let me tell you. Them things, just melt in your mouth when they come out of that hot oil. Oh my goodness. And I don't know how many pounds we ate, but it was a bunch. We had 4 boys, my daughter and myself. We probably ate at least 4 big bass that was all chunked up and into fish nuggets. So, well, what a pile of fish we had. And onion rings. I brought potatoes for homemade French fries, but by that time everybody was slowing down. I made a deal with their mother. Don't feed the boys before I come over. I'll plan lunch at lunchtime, and we'll have a tailgate fish fry. You know, we were right in the driveway. It's all covered in snow. I brought over a Coleman stove. I brought over a cast iron pot, and then all the fixings for cutting up the fish. And I even made the batter right there in the driveway. Brought everything over for making that, so we could just play it up big for the boys. You tell them this is a long time family secret, this fish batter. So they get a kick out of that. But anyways, each and every one of them love them fish nuggets. And boy, if you haven't eaten fresh fish, like day-old stuff, you're kind of missing out. Because I can't believe how good fresh fish. I want to eat every bite of it. I wouldn't share any of it if they didn't like fish. I've got a big fish chowder in the refrigerator right now that I made up 3 days ago. So I've got enough fish chowder in there to last me at least another 3 or 4 days. But it's pretty cheap eating, let me tell you. I don't have it every night. I might have something different in between, but I will eat on that until it's completely gone. I keep it in the refrigerator in a big pot. Scoop out what I want for evening supper or lunch, and then but unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. Like I said, cheap eating. You got the bass that we've been catching in there. I don't know what I put in. I think I put in 4 onions. I put in at least 4 potatoes, and then I put in 4 packages of bass, which is 4 bass. Each package that I do up is 2 fillets. So I put in 4 of those. And I also put in 2 cans of baby clams. And the baby clams and juice, to me, is the secret ingredient to my fish chowder. So, like I said, and same thing with the fish juice. You can't keep all the water that I cook the fish in, but I pre-cook the fish before I add the cream and all of that. So you end up with this fish water that I do not dump out. I'll dump about half of it, save the rest, put in the refrigerator, because it's a broth. It's a fish broth. And so for the next fish chowder, you can just dump it in. And then from there I put in half and half cream, and let's see, a little bit of milk, salt and pepper, stick of butter, and good to go. That's my fish chowder. I cook the potatoes and onions by themselves because I don't want the potatoes to get mushy. I'm talking 45 wanted my fish recipe. So 45, this is how I cook my fish chowder. So anyways, I cook my potatoes, they're bite size, and I cook my onions. I'll give the onions about 3 minutes of boiling by themselves, and then I'll put my potatoes in. And I only cook, and the potatoes are bite size, and I only cook the potatoes until they're soft to push a fork through. I don't want them to get mushy. That's why I cook them by themselves. And the same thing with the fish. It doesn't take much cooking with the fish. So I'll take the potatoes off the stove, the onions off the stove, drain that water down the sink, because I don't care about that water. And then while those are sitting in the strainer, then I'll put some water in for my fish. And the fish are all chunked up into bite-sized pieces. When I'm talking the fish, I'm talking 1-inch squares. I'll especially with these big bass, you can get some 1-inch bite-sized pieces, really nice. And then you can cut them up with your fork when you're in your bowl, whatever, your spoon. But you're not looking in my fish chowder for fish, and you're definitely not fish. And by cutting in 2 cans of baby clams, you're not looking for those either. So anyways, I get the fish probably less than 5 minutes of boiling, if you really want to know. Bring it up to a boil, let it boil for 5 minutes. Check it out if you want. Break one open, eat it, put a little salt and pepper on it. But check it out. But it'll be cooked. These squares don't take long to cook. And then after that, like I said, I'll strain off at least half the water so that I end up with a thick, creamy cream when the milk and stuff. It's not all watered down with water. Then the fish is in the pot. I bring back the potatoes. I bring back the onions. Before I put the cream in, I'll dice up a whole stick of butter. Drop that in there. I do that because the water is still hot, and then it gives the butter a chance to melt. And that's also a good time to put in your salt, your pepper. I put in at least about a teaspoon and a half of salt, and at least a teaspoon of pepper. Heavy on the pepper because it does give it a little bit of extra there, but don't go crazy. But I do go. I'm a pepper guy, so I do go a little heavy on the pepper. And then after all that's back in the pot, and that's when I bring out the cream. I'll dump in a whole. What are they? I know then. I don't believe they're quart. Whatever my wife buys, anyways. But it's enough to cover. I cover what's in the pot. I cover it up with the cream. So if you're dumping that in, and you've got a half an inch above, the potatoes, the fish, and all that, then you got enough cream. And you can always add to it through the week, because I'll take out a little extra cream, while I'm putting it in my bowl. So by the end of the week, I need to put in a little bit more cream sometimes, or a little bit. We got some milk in the refrigerator. Might add a little milk at that point, just so I keep a good liquid for my fish chowder. And then I take a bowl out and put it in the microwave for 4 minutes, piping hot at that point. And the reason I do that, I don't warm it up on the stove again. If I was at camp, I would warm it up on the stove. But here at the house, I'll put it in the microwave for 4 minutes. And the reason I do that is because it's really easy to burn cream. and milk in your pot, and I don't want it to have that scorched taste. So by where I'm going to heat it up for every night for a week, or every other night for a week, I don't want to do that on the stove because I don't want to risk burning it and then spoiling the whole pot and having it take on that nasty scotched on flavor. So by putting it in the microwave for 4 minutes, it comes out perfect, and it's piping hot. So, but anyways, hey, how you like that, 45? This video turned into a fish chowder recipe, and I gave you the ingredients when I texted you all the ingredients, but that's it. It's simple, it's easy, and it's very cheap. Especially if you can go fishing and get your kids to go out there fishing. With the boys, you know, they're allowed 2 fish per person. So, man, they're able to come off the lake with 5 or 6. Usually we've been keeping 1 fish, never the 2, because I refuse to keep any small ones. So for them to catch 5 really big ones, it takes a full day, and that's what they've been doing. They've been getting 5 really big ones. Once in a while we'll keep a little one if not Lincoln, he's already got some big fish. What's it, Elijah, you know, he's only 4 years old, so we're not breaking his heart by throwing his fish back, so he gets to throw a little one in the pile. But what I do with the little ones that are in the pile is I got a cat that lives under my shop, so I'll take it down. There's a little hole he comes out of on one side of it, so I come down and I'll leave him a little fish right next to the hole, and then he drags it in. Barn cat. Nothing. I built the shop 20 years ago. There's always been a cat living under it. I don't know where they come from. They just show up, and then the cat tracks all over the yard. They go from the shop, under my porch, out into my woodshed. They go under my boat. Any type of little structure they go to. You see the tracks in the snow. So, crazy. But anyways, that's what we do with small fish. Well, I hope you guys are having a great winter, because we're having a blast up here in Maine. Well, alrighty. Well, I guess we talked about fish chowder this week. Yeah, we'll see. I plan on getting them out there again this week, so that'll be nice. We'll see what happens. Alrighty, you guys have a sip of coffee with me on your way out, and I will see you next week.